Hey guys, I hope you're well, always. So I have a pick a card reading that's like lined up in my energy field. I just feel it coming through, it wants to come through. And it's about kind of like a law of attraction, manifestation reading. I'm gonna keep it general, and then after I channel it all, oh my gosh, the most amazing insect just flew onto the window. That is amazing looking. Do you guys ever see insects that look seriously like alien beings? Because I see them all the time and I'm convinced that they're actually just alien visitors, or like alien, but you know, like interdimensional visitors. So back to the reading. Law of attraction, kind of like, what do you need to know about your vibration? Tips from spirit about shifting your vibration so you can become more of a vibrational match to what it is your heart is desiring. So kind of like advice from spirit world, from spirit's perspective of life here on earth. And yeah, so we'll just see what comes through. Sometimes I'm like, how can I even do the intro of a video before I film the video? Maybe I'll start doing intros afterwards so that I'm like, yeah, this is what the reading's about, guys. Because ultimately spirit just comes through and says what spirit wants to say. So there's 3 groups, pretty much as usual. And group number 1 is play. Have fun. Celebrate. Don't be so serious. Card number 2 is answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And these cards are from the Work Your Light Oracle deck, by the way. Pretty sure. Got so many decks. And then card number 3, Awakening. Energetic upgrades. A new way of being. Integration. I totally resonate with the energetic upgrades that have been happening since that eclipse. Oh my lord, it's been really intense. So I'll show them to you one more time. Just choose intuitively what like resonates with you, and you can always pick more than one. Oftentimes you might resonate with more than one, or you might resonate with a different one if you come back to this reading at another time. There we go. So go ahead and pick your card, and then I will see you for your reading. Bye. Hey group 1, play. So I mean, immediately that you've chosen this card, I feel like your soul, your inner guidance system is like, hey, we need to have more fun. Hello, remember? I feel like some inner child work is needed. Like, not work, I think you already work hard enough. I think letting go of the work and the striving is actually what your soul's calling for. And just start to release. Like, I feel like the energy for you is just like, let go and just start to enjoy yourself wherever you are. Especially if you've been thinking really intensely about something that you're wanting to manifest or experience. Even more so than let go. Stop thinking about it for a while. Just like have a time where you just enjoy yourself and do things that naturally make you feel good, and keep reaching for the things that make you feel like you're having fun. Celebrate. Yeah, celebrate what you have already in your reality. I mean, all of these things are really basic, but I feel like it's not... I feel like there is something in your energy field that sometimes you slip into this pattern of thinking, or of I guess thinking, yeah, where you keep thinking about what it is that you are wanting, but in a way that isn't inspired or patient about when it will come to you, or trusting that's definitely going to come, but in a way of like, I need to control this, I need to make sure that I 100% get there, I need to take the next step. What's my next step? What do I have to do? How can I mold this thing? How can I make sure that I definitely get this thing that I'm trying to manifest? And in a way, like, all of that is emitting a vibration, it's emitting a frequency that is not a match to the thing that you're trying to manifest. So it's like, if you're trying to manifest a new home, it's like, instead of focusing on, oh my god, the current home that I'm in is so shit, I have to manifest a new home. And you keep focusing on why all these things in your home are so bad and all the things that are bad about it. You're only creating a vibrational match to the home that you currently have, to the experience that you're currently having. You're not making a vibrational match to how would it feel to be in the home that's perfect for you, that's in an environment that's perfect for you. How would that feel? What would it look like? What would you be doing? And what would you spend your day walking around the house? Would you walk around being like, in your new house that you love, would you walk around and be like, this house is shit, these things don't work for me? Or would you walk around being like, wow, I love how I feel in this house. I feel free. I feel like it's a fresh start. I feel really joyful and like inspired and like it's the perfect thing in X, Y, and Z way or an ABC way, and really focusing in on that. So I guess it's just that basic teaching that you cannot receive what it is that you desire if you're not in a vibrational alignment to it, you know? And I think that what Spirit's trying to say is that the easiest way for you to come into vibrational alignment with what it is that you desire is to have fun, is to let go of the resistance as to where you are right now and start to find ways of being grateful or celebrating. And also thinking about like, because this is very much sort of like Abraham Hicks's teachings. And if you think about the emotional scale that they teach, if you're not aware of it, don't worry. But basically Abraham Hicks talks about law of attraction, and talks about the emotional scale that we can go through, and the lower frequency or lower vibrational emotions, such as like, what are they like? I'm trying to remember what they are. I think it's stuff like, like jealousy is really low. Jealousy is a great one to start with, because if you're jealous of someone else for having something that you are desiring, then you're absolutely not in a vibrational match to that thing, right? Because you're jealous of it because you in that moment you're sending out a frequency of, I don't have this thing. But ultimately what that person is showing you is something that you are inspired to receive for your own self, for your own life. And them having it doesn't mean it's any less available to you at all. In fact, it probably means that it's more available to you because you're being shown an embodiment of it that you can then take into your little toolkit and your visualization and be like, wow, this is amazing. This person has achieved this thing or has got this thing that I really feel inspired to also do. And therefore you can celebrate that person. There we go. Celebrate. Celebrates on this card. So potentially the message coming through is around celebrate people who have the thing that you desire. That would be a great practice, especially if you're prone to jealousy, because jealousy, I mean, it doesn't feel good. I think we've all been there, but it really doesn't feel good. And that's because it's not true. Like jealousy it's a deceptive vibration, because it's telling us a story that we can't have the thing that we want, or that it's never going to be available to us. And it puts us into such a low vibration, and it takes us so far away from really the alignment with what it is that we truly desire, which is what's being reflected to us in the person or the thing that we're jealous of. So the message for you is to have fun, especially if you've been focusing in a lot on something that you really want. You've been really trying to change something about your life. It's like Spirit saying to you, change the inside. It's an inside job. Change the inside of your internal energy field. Change how you are thinking about what it is you're desiring, or change how you are feeling about what it is you're desiring. Because if you're feeling the lack of it, then you're moving further away from it. And I know that it can be like mental gymnastics, or you can be like, but that feels like inauthentic. And sometimes it will. Like, sometimes it will feel inauthentic, because you're going to be like, I don't have this thing. How am I supposed to pretend like I do? Some days you'll feel like you can pretend. And this is Spirit's literal guidance to you, is pretend like you already have it. And if that feels less available to you, then simply move up the emotional scale. So if you're in a space of jealousy, maybe the next thing up is like rage or frustration or anger. Maybe not rage, but like anger at, oh my God, friggin' this resistance feels like shit. I'm feeling upset about this resistance that I'm having. Okay? Therefore, you're at least moving up a little bit from the jealousy. And then from that perspective, you can start to see, okay, well, I can accept where I am right now. I can accept because I've released this emotion. I've moved up the scale in the vibration, because anger is a higher vibration than jealousy, for example. So we can move up and up and up and up and up. And then from a place of acceptance, you can be like, hey, wait a minute. I actually feel optimistic about what I could achieve right now. I actually feel like positive about when I look into my future, and I know that I can have everything that I'm desiring. So we kind of start to do this work to like take these stepping stones to higher vibrations, even if it feels like you're in a very low vibration, and therefore jumping straight up to like, oh my God, I have this dream home that I've always wanted, doesn't feel available to you. That's normal. And it's not about forcing the vibrational jump to happen, because it's not going to work. And you might feel more and more discouraged and therefore lower vibration and be like, this doesn't work. I don't get rah, 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 rah. But you are a vibrational being. Spirit is saying to you, you're a vibrational being. Like, this is how you operate. You have magic in the unseen energies. You are able to move energy in yourself, and therefore in how you experience your world. So moving up the scale, like choosing thoughts or choosing a perspective that is at least a little bit higher of a vibration than the one that you're in. So you move up and up and up until you are starting to see that it is possible. And that's where you need to be, because with this don't be so serious card, I feel like you are taking the evidence that's in your reality of like, I don't have this thing, you're taking that as evidence as to this thing is not available to me. But that's completely untrue, because it's simply a journey of going. You just have to go for the journey of receiving the thing. And the more that you can occupy an energy field in a space where you already have that, then the more that you will have it. The quicker it will come to you, kind of thing. But at the same time, if you're on a journey of like moving home or trying to manifest the perfect home, if you think about it, there are things in life that just take time. And this is another Abraham Hicks teaching. I'm reading their book, Ask and It Is Given, right now, and it's really good. I really resonate with some of it. So in one of the chapters, they talk about like, if you're going on a journey, right? And a lot of manifestation is a journey. Like, how is it not? It's a journey, right? We're going on a journey from having a desire to the receiving of that desire. It really is the journey of manifestation. So if you're going on a journey and you want to drive, say, go on a road trip from the city you're in to another city, and therefore this is what Abraham Hicks says in their book, by the way, credit to them. If you're going on that journey and you put into the GPS the new city that you want to go to, and then you start driving and you go and you're on the map, you're on the road, you're following the map to that city, you're not going to stop halfway through and be like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. Look, I'm not even there yet. I haven't even made it there yet. Well, I know for sure then that I'm just not going to make it then. It's like, that's not really how energy works, right? If we're putting it in our intention that we're going to get there, it shouldn't matter how long it takes. We can't use the evidence of us not being there right then and there in that moment as evidence that it's never going to happen, because it's ridiculous, really. And things sometimes take time, but it's not a bad thing. And from a spiritual perspective, there is so much wisdom and lessons to be learned in the progression of your desires, in the following of your desires, in that process that it takes to get to where it is that you want to be. There is, magic that can unfold. There is wisdom, there is lessons, there is a new way of being that you can integrate into that process, so you can start to feel more joy and more lightness, and you can start to learn the lesson of allowing yourself the freedom to have fun no matter what it is that you have right now, starting to feel grateful for that. Really gratitude, I feel, and working in flow state. So this card is really reminding me of children, because it's like play, have fun, don't be so serious, celebrate. And I feel like with children, when they're playing, they are in flow state. And it's something as adults that I think, we often, many of us, it can be harder to get into flow state as an adult. Not always, but it can be. But as kids, you see it all the time. They're just in flow state. They're just like playing. They're so enthralled in the present moment that like they're not thinking about any other needs they have. They're not thinking about anything else. They're just totally enjoying what is there in their reality right then, and then things come to them easily. But I feel like you are taking yourself out of the present moment by thinking about the thing that you're wanting, which is actually keeping you in a state of like unhappiness in a way, or you're not fully content with where you are right now because of that. And I think that what I'm getting is that you really can shift your frequency really fast if you start to focus on what it is that feels good to you, and you start doing more of that, or you start magnifying energies of gratitude. And I mean really going deep into gratitude, because I've had, I've actually been shown in my own life recently these experiences that I've gone through that have shown me how important, like not how important gratitude is, but like how easy it is to take for granted things that are just going well, and it's exactly the same for for this message that's trying to come through for you, which is like, you're focusing so much on what it is that you don't have that you're forgetting about all the things that you do have that you would be really upset if you didn't have them, And so starting to be grateful for what you have, like for food, for having dinner, for having dinner every night, for being able to go to the grocery store and buy what you are desiring or what you feel like that is something to be so grateful for. And if that gets taken away momentarily or for a while, we really miss it, right? We're like, God damn, I would really like to be able to go buy some groceries right now, or if for health, like this is something that happened for me. I had like a fever and I was unwell about a month or maybe more ago. And I realized like how much I take for granted my health or my state of well-being, that I can get up and I can do things and I can, I can go out into the world and I can express myself and all these things. And when you're stuck in bed for like ages, you start to really feel the contrast of that. And therefore when it comes back into your life, it's like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this. I can't believe how much I've missed this. You know what I mean? I'm so grateful. I never want to let this thing go again. But it's like, it's so easy to not even notice these things, to not even notice that, yeah, you might think, well, it's no big deal that I get to have dinner every night. But think about if you didn't have that, how grateful you would be for the first time that you had dinner again. Oh my God, it's so good. I'm so excited. Yes, right? And really working with that gratitude in a way that's like deeper than just maybe like a superficial list of like, I'm grateful for my cat. I'm grateful for my clothes. I'm grateful for my refrigerator. It's like, no, go into it though. Go into that feeling. And for you, it's all about the feelings, because I think, well, I keep saying think. And usually when I channel, I say I feel, because I'm an F, like I'm an INFJ. I'm a feeling person. But with you, I think you're much more thinking, and you have kind of a bit of like a masculine energy, like not gender, it's not gendered, it's just like you have this real like strong like light, like sun energy. It's like masculine. You're like purposeful and you're driven, and you want to know the next step that's in front of you, and you want to be able to take that step and take action, and you're frustrated if you can't take action, right? So I keep saying think, because that's the energy that's because I'm tuning into your energy, and you think things. You're not like, oh, I feel this thing, or maybe sometimes you are, but for right now, the message coming through is that really letting go of the thinking and letting go of the seriousness of the attainment of your desires, and turning it more into something that is playful and fun and an enjoyable process, and one that you can have faith in. You can have faith that if you set your GPS to this city that you want to go, and you follow the directions and you keep driving, and there's enough, fuel in your car, that you're going to get there. It's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Like, there's no need to doubt that. And that's the same thing for when we're manifesting what it is that we are desiring. It's the same process. Sometimes there will be a gap that we have to, journey through to receive. And that's okay. And most of that gap is really just our resistance to receiving what our prayer is answered as soon as we ask. Our prayer is answered as soon as we ask. And then we just have to get out of our own way and receive it, pretty much. And that's a really important message for you, because you need to have fun. My goodness, you need to have fun. You need to have fun. And it's really that counterintuitive thing. It's like, as soon as you stop thinking about something, or like stop worrying about something not being here, is often when it will show up for you, because you've entered a state of effortlessness. And once you're in effortlessness, you don't have any vibrational resistance to the thing coming into your reality. And I was shown this really clearly recently, because I was really wanting to manifest this thing, and it was taking ages. And I kept getting into this, like a childlike energy of like, almost like a tantrum about it. I have a very strong inner child. I have a Leo moon. And and I was shown one time, I was like meditating on the couch and I was just it was like my higher self came through and like downloaded this into my head, and it was such a powerful experience. And I was shown, I was instantly like teleported into this experience of like non-resistance, where I was just sitting there and I was like, I feel so content. And I felt, but it wasn't just content of like, oh, I could just sit here. But you know how often if you're content, you know, you look around and you want to reach for something, like maybe I'll read, or, you know, maybe I'll look at this thing. But it's like, no, it was so content that I was so like there. I was so present. It was like, I am just here, and I didn't need to fill my energy with anything because I was so filled with my own life force. It was an amazing experience. And then I got this download come in where I was shown my vibration in that moment and how I'd created like an energy field that was totally able to magnetize like everything that I wanted to me. And then I was shown the contrast of the energy field that I had just been in consistently, where I was pushing away. I was literally pushing it away. The thing that I was desiring, I was pushing it away. And I was like, oh my God. And I realized in that moment all of these concepts that I have been studying, and at times I would experience, even if I wasn't trying to, I would suddenly, you know, slip into a joyful frequency and some glorious thing would manifest, or I would slip into an abundance frequency and it would just, you know, escalate, and so many things would show up and I'd be like, wow, this is so easy. But it was like I was shown that in the pure energetic sense, like our energetic field, and how when we're in a state of contentment, and this can be at different levels, and in that moment I felt like I was, you know, like I was like one with spirit or something, like it was a really special experience. I just saw how immediately, like it's like immediate. It's like a magnet. Everything comes to you like that because I didn't desire anything. It was really interesting. And it's like, I mean, I still kind of, not really. It was like I had an idea of things that I desired because I'd been thinking about one certain thing for such a long time. I still had that in my energy field, like it was shown to me. And I was like, yeah, this thing is right here. It's waiting for you. That's what I was shown. It's like, it's waiting for you. But you have to change your energy field to stop repelling it and pushing it away. Because I was so upset that it wasn't here yet. And I was so upset that it was taking so long. And I was asking the spirit, I was like, why? Why won't you just give me this thing? Rah, rah, rah. You know, like being like a child about it. And then I was answered. Spirit answered my question. If you notice that, if you ask a question, Spirit will answer you. So I had that moment on the couch, and you know, it's something that has it really did change me. I felt really privileged. It was, you know, it wasn't for very long, but it was long enough that it really sunk in. And I just recognized, like, of course, because if we're in this energy of like, I don't have this thing, I don't have it, you know, then how can the universe give it to us? Because we're literally affirming our own reality, and we're saying, but I don't have this thing. And if you keep waking up every day and saying, I don't have this thing, what am I going to do today to get it? Right? Because that's kind of your energy, like you're a go-getter. And Spirit's saying, well, that's not really how it's going to work. Hey, what if you woke up every day and instead of being like, I don't have this thing, how do I go about getting it? Wake up and be like, immediately, how does it feel that I have this thing right now? How do I feel? How does it feel? It feels amazing. It feels so good. I feel so happy. And even if it's momentary, that's okay, because we can go back to that, the emotional scale thing. But really working with it morning and night, I feel, is a really powerful time period. Or really going deep into the visualization, but working with the visualization with the feelings, because I think the feelings thing is the key for you. Because I think you're, for whatever reason at this point in your life, or maybe it's just your personality in general, you're a very mental mind person, and you like things to be logical, and you think about things and you philosophize and you go deep into concepts and this kind of stuff. And at times, of course, that serves you, but at times, of course, it doesn't. And in this case, you need to step into the feelings of it. You need to step into the feeling of it. You need to step into how does it feel? Because if something feels really, really bad to you, then that's never going to be a vibrational match to your desire. Because how does it feel when you receive your desire? It feels really, really good, right? Yes. I haven't even pulled any more cards and I've talked for 20 minutes. I mean, yeah, it was all there in your energy field, really. Do something nice for yourself, I'm feeling. Like, I feel like sometimes you can be you know, you're good because you have, and this card just fell out. Hold on. The Six of Pentacles. Give something to yourself so you can be in the frequency of receiving. Like, I feel like sometimes you can be very ascetic, which is the giving up of things. Like, I'm going to, you know, like, it's kind of like an example is like fasting as a practice to get closer to spirit and stuff, which works. But at the same time, if it's not coming in a state of like real alignment and flow state, then it can create resistance. You know, it can create forcefulness of like, I have to fast so that I can get closer to spirit. And and it can kind of be like, it can turn into a little bit into self-punishment, right? It's like, if I withstand enough of this, you know, torture of not having this thing, then I'll finally get it because I've earned it, because it's really hard. It's been really hard. And Spirit's kind of saying, okay, we need to shift the belief system right now so that you don't have to think that things have to be really, really hard for you to be worthy of receiving them. Looking into your beliefs as well would assist you right now. And looking into how your beliefs make you feel. If you have a belief about something that makes it, the belief is that it's really, really hard to get something that I want, well, what does that translate into action, right? It translates into things, you doing things that are really, really hard until you allow the allowing of the receiving of the thing that is immediately available to you as soon as you desired it. But you place the conditions on it of I have to work really, really hard to have the body that I want. I'm not like everyone else. I have to work really, really hard to get things that I want. Okay, well then you're creating that. That's a rule that you've created. That's not a rule from the universe. The universe never said that things had to be really, really hard for you to get what you want. You did. And do you want that? Or not? Would you rather things be easy? Because I'm telling you right now, even if you have some kind of attachment to things being really, really hard, your inner child does not. Your inner child is like, no, I would like things to be really, really easy and really fun all the time. Thank you. And there's a wisdom in that. There's a wisdom, like there is. So the Six of Pentacles is about receiving. It's also about gifts coming to you unexpectedly. Like, expect things to show up for you. Expect it. Have an energy of expectation. I believe that things show up easily for me all the time, effortlessly. Start to affirm these kinds of things. So yeah, being generous with yourself though, of what I'm getting from this energy, because you can interpret the Six of Pentacles in kind of a lot of different ways, but what I'm getting from it is like, be generous with yourself and give yourself some time off, or some time to just like enjoy your life and have fun and be happy. Like, really. All right, let's do another. I can't believe I didn't really pull very many cards, but I want to just pull one more card about. You kidding? You kidding? Past life. This situation involves your past life memories. Peace. There is no need to worry, as everything is working out beautifully. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is like, you have past life conditioning or childhood conditioning, which I believe is really similar, because with our past lives, when we incarnate, we choose the family we're going to incarnate into. We choose an energetic signature or an energetic vibration that's similar to what we are needing to work through from our past life. So it's really, they continue on in a way. So, but your childhood conditioning would be creating your subconscious mind. This is stuff that I'm going over in source codes right now, and it's really powerful stuff, but reprogramming your subconscious mind is really the ticket. It's the key for everybody in receiving what they want and in allowing things to be easy and peaceful. And when we have these beliefs in our subconscious mind, such as like, things have to be really hard for me to be able to get it because I'm not like everyone else and the universe just works differently for me, and the universe is like, well, you better work for it if you want it, mate. You know, then that's what's going to become true for us, right? Because we have so much power as creators that we just sort of let run us. You know, we let all these beliefs run us instead of being like, hey, what would I like to believe? What would I like to create? So if you've never heard of reprogramming the subconscious mind, start researching it obsessively. That would be my advice to you. Start working with that obsessively, because you will, like, it's an inside job. We can never experience what we we can never experience the true fulfillment of our desires if we've got all these conflicting things within us. Like if we have a self-image of someone who is, you know, look, this is going to be a much longer discussion, and I feel like I've already gone over it so much in source codes, and there's so much resources out there. So if you resonate, either join source codes, you know, first with Patreon bills on the 1st of every month, which is so annoying, because it means it's probably not the best time for you to join right now. I'd rather if you just joined on the 1st of June if you're interested in it, because then you get the whole month of money, your money's worth. But looking into the subconscious mind, you can do your own research. There's a book on it. There's like, I think it's called like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and it talks about how the subconscious mind is literally your greatest tool, and you can't get anywhere in life unless that your subconscious mind is aligned to what your conscious mind desires. It is so vital, and it's the missing piece for everybody. It's absolutely the missing piece. It's the reason why people go through such efforts to lose weight and then they go gain it back, or it's the reason why someone can, you know, have an inheritance of several $1 million and they can blow it in a few years. Because if their self-image is of someone who's overweight, or their self-image is of someone who doesn't have any money, then your subconscious mind will manifest that for you, no matter what your external reality is showing to you, no matter what, you know, your bank account says. If you have a subconscious belief or a subconscious self-image, because our beliefs create our self-image, of someone who just never has money and always struggles with money, then guess what? That will be your experience. So it's not something to be like, oh, it's not fair. You know, it's so hard. Why can't my subconscious mind just work for me? Well, it can. It just takes a little bit of reprogramming. It just takes a tiny bit of effort, which I think you'll be more than happy to put in, because you seem like a very driven person and a very self-motivated person. All it takes is a tiny bit of effort. And if you do this one thing, if you change your subconscious mind, everything else in your life will change. And it, you know, don't read any more self-development books. Don't do anything else except for this, because nothing else will change unless we change our insides, unless we change our subconscious programming, unless we change our self-image, unless we change our beliefs about our life and what is possible for us. That is what is important. And that is what makes lasting impact. And that's what I desire for every person. You know, I wish that this was taught. You know, imagine our life if we were taught about the power of this. But no, most of us just, you know, unconsciously live out our programming, and that's that. But you're a conscious being. You're awake. You're alert. You're like, hey, I want to consciously create my life. Okay, well then you got to work with the subconscious, with the stuff that you could call it like, to me, the subconscious mind. Okay, actually it links in really well with this card, play, have fun, celebrate. To me, the subconscious mind is like spiritually reparenting your inner child. You need to go in and reparent your inner child, aka reprogram your subconscious mind to be something that aligns with what you desire. And until you do that, the reality that you can change and you can manifest using your force and your willpower, and you can change your reality, like I said, it will not last. Or it will not even feel the way that you think that it will feel. The example of someone who loses weight. If their subconscious programming, if their self-image is still of someone who will always struggle with their weight, because maybe your mom did, or your dad did, or your whole family has, and then you go about and you change the external reality of that, but you don't change the internal programming, you don't change the internal self-image, well then it's not going to last. But it also might not even feel that good, because maybe you still can't even see what you have created physically, because the internal lens that you're looking at yourself through, right? We're looking at ourselves, right? It will only show something that has problems. Oh, you need to lose more weight, or this isn't good enough, or da-da-da-da-da. That's how big and important the self-image is, even if you change your physical reality. And so much of the time we think that what we need to do is we need to change our physical reality. It's like, oh, I just need to go over to the gym more. I just need to eat this food more, or this food less. And it's like, okay, some of those things might be true, but ultimately what you need to change is inside of yourself already. It's your self-image. It's your subconscious mind. It's your belief about yourself and your life and what is possible. It's your releasing of the resistance to receiving of your true well-being, which is already inside of you. Okay, group one, that's all we have time for. Otherwise, I could probably go on and on forever. But I send you so much love. I'll talk to you soon. Hey, group two. I'm kind of like having a chuckle because I feel your guidance is like coming to give you a bit of an ass whooping. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's like, well, you did choose answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And in a way, that's enough of a message. But what I'm getting from this, okay, and I'm just going to start channeling because the messages are already coming through really strong. You are facing resistance in your life right now. You're facing roadblocks, you're facing opposition because you are not actually doing what it is that you desire to do. You're not on the path of what it is that you truly want. And therefore you're finding it hard to have energy to do the things, or you're finding it really hard to progress, or you're finding it really hard to, create magic or manifest, because you're trying to manifest or create something along a road path that you don't actually desire. And when we work against our desires, it's like we're really just like we're not in alignment, basically. And that's what I feel for you, is that there's something that you are trying to pursue and you keep pushing down this path, right? And you're like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But either that was what someone else wants for you, like maybe your family, like you really have to go to university and study to be a doctor. So you're like, yes, I want this because you want to please your family, right? But if it's not what your soul was desiring, then it's going to be a flippin' hard road. It's going to be really hard because we have to have inspiration. We have to have that divine alignment for things to progress in a way that actually feels good for us. Because if you're going after a goal or you're trying to achieve something that you truly don't desire, then it's not going to feel good. And Spirit's saying, okay, but what is your soul calling you to do? Because even if it's logical that you should go and study medicine because all of your family are doctors, then this is just what you do, and then you'll set yourself up with a good job, right? You get good pay, and therefore, you have free time because you've got money. You can spend your money on buying the art equipment that you want, or you can spend your money on buying whatever it is that you actually desire, right? It doesn't work like that, because you're kind of like, it's kind of like you're selling your soul in a way when you do that. You really have to be careful down this path, group 2, and I'm sorry to say it, but I really feel like you need to turn around. I feel like you need to turn around and really start to answer the call of what it is that you actually desire, because even if it's not logical, and it's up to you, it's free will, you do what you want. Like, you just clicked on this reading and I'm just channeling what's here, but look what this card came out. Divine passion. Be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? And this is what I was picking up at the beginning, is like, you might have tried to trick yourself into thinking that you do desire the thing that you think you should desire, such as studying medicine to be a doctor because, it has good money, or, it's this, or, then I'll be I'll be all good with my family, and I really want to be all good with my family, and da-da-da. But it's like, is that true? Is that really honest, though? For real? Or is it what you desire is to, like, be a painter? Or be, like, a freaking, I don't know, a YouTuber? I don't know. So, Spirit's saying, like, there's resistance on your path and you're finding it hard to move forward right now because you haven't been honest with yourself about what it is that you actually desire. And it won't even be that hard for you to actually tune into what it is you desire, because it's actually always sitting under the surface of us and it's right there for you. You just have to kind of reach down and claim it and be like, hey, yeah, this is what I desire. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is how I want to use my precious life. I don't want to tell myself lies. I don't want to people please my family because I think that them being happy with the life path I'm taking is more important than my well-being. Absolutely not. Okay? And it might be scary, but this is probably part of your soul's intention for your lifetime, is to face these big things. Like, maybe you're meant to be the black sheep of your family. You're meant to be the only one who's not a doctor out of, 15 doctors, right? Maybe that's your path. Maybe that's the sacred lesson and the sacred blessing that you're here to learn in this life. I don't know. But I feel you are trying to push down a road that makes logical sense in your mind, but your heart is like screaming, no, I don't want this. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Group 2. Why do cards keep falling today? Why am I manifesting this? The Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so I do feel like it might be about money. You might be logically saying like, well, if I do this profession, then I'll have money, and that money will mean that I can support this other dream that I have, this other goal that I have, which sounds logical, okay? It sounds freaking great. Honestly, it does. And I've been in that kind of thinking before in my life, and I think most of us have. But the truth is that it doesn't always work out like that. It's not always as simple as that. It's not always like, oh yeah, just do this thing and everything will be fine. And it doesn't matter that I'm like going against what my soul truly desires, because if we go against what our soul truly desires, it's like we're strangulating our life force. We're strangling our life force so that it can't come through us. We're restricting it so intensely that we won't feel the energy to go forward, especially for those who are like more starseeds like us, or who are more, want to be conscious creators. Like, that's what you've come to be. You've come to hold a high frequency energy and be a conscious creator and make a change in this earth. And I'm telling you, like, you need your life force. Your life force is what makes you feel good. Your life force is what makes you feel like life is worth living, that you have the energy to create your art and all this stuff. So it's kind of like, if you're like, well, I should just get this 9-to-5 job because I need to support myself financially to do my artwork, when really what your soul is asking you to do is like to take an adventure and to see in what way you could make your art work for a living, and even though you might have a million excuses as to why that's not possible. Okay, so say you go down the road of like, okay, I'm just gonna work this 9-to-5 job, and then I'll have enough money that I can buy my painting supplies so that I can paint on the weekends and stuff. And guess what? The weekends come and you have no energy, and you have no inspiration, you have no connection to the divine, and you have no... you don't even pick up a paintbrush for like 6 months because you're so worn down by this job, right? So it doesn't always work out, does it? And then you quit your job and suddenly all of your life force comes back to you, and you're like, whew, and you paint like 50 paintings at once, and you're in complete flow state, and you somehow align that you can sell those paintings, and then all of a sudden you've got an exhibition coming up and everything's aligning because you finally chose your soul destiny. That's how it works. That's how it works. I told you your guidance was going to give you a bit of it's going to, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a bit harsh, like, but the energy is gaining momentum. Yeah, it is for you. I feel like you're getting... And this is why you clicked on this video, because maybe you've already tried that path before. You've tried the path of doing the thing, like I said, if it makes sense, I just have to have money right now, I just have to do this thing. And I get it, like sometimes we need money, and therefore like, I'm not trying to make it so that it's so unreasonable that you're like, whatever, Bridget, like you just don't understand, because I get it. Like, I've freaking been there. I've been in all kinds of financial situations, and I've definitely experienced, I've experienced it, and I know, and it's really hard when we have the freaking evidence in front of us, like I just have to do this, I have to do this. But that's kind of like the whole illusion of this physical reality, is that we can make that the law of the universe, or we can look at the true laws of the universe and live by them, and ultimately we will receive what feels like assistance when we follow our soul path, but really it's just alignment to the well-being that is always available to us. We're aligning to the abundance that is always available to us. But it's like we can't align to the abundance that's already available to us if we're living in a way that says, hey, I don't have abundance available to me. I have to go out, work really hard and suffer to get abundance. That's what you're living by, right? If you go down that 9-to-5 path, I just need to do this, and remember I need to please my family, or they'll cut me off, and scarcity. So the energy is gaining momentum. I feel like you have been down a path of doing the right thing, right? By society standards, you've done the right thing, but I don't think it's felt that good for you. And I think you're at this point where you're like, I can't do that anymore, because I literally feel like I'm going to tear my hair out if I do one more day of this shitty job that I freaking hate, right? And that's because your soul is calling you. Literally, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Your soul is like screaming. It's not even calling at you anymore. It's like screaming at you. It's like, hello, remember our intention for our lifetime that we were going to do together? Hello? And you're just like, no, don't worry, I'll get to you later. And Spirit's like, the thing is that I have always pondered this thing of destiny versus free will. I don't know why this is, okay, honor the cycles of your energy body, honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. Clarify, clarified by sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. Yes, and this is what I was getting in your energy field with the energy is gaining momentum. You are raising your consciousness right now. You've gone through energetic upgrades where you are a more conscious person than you were even yesterday. This is how quick the energy is ascending at this time on Earth. And so if you try to continue down the path of, forcing things even though you don't have any energy and you're like, well, I just have to do it, and you really go depleting, you're getting more and more sensitive to that way of being, and it's becoming less and less available to you, and you have to listen to that. Okay, and it's for a reason. Like, sometimes this is what I was getting and what I was about to launch into before that card came out. We have a destiny path, and I've thought a lot about the difference between free will and destiny, and I think it's both. I think that it's absolutely both, but at times, it's tricky because I believe we have an intention, a soul intention for our lifetime, and it may be a few, but there's often one core energetic signature that we're here to really work through, and oftentimes that core energetic signature will be the thing that we struggle with the most. But when we turn our back on our soul's intention for our lifetime, things will often manifest more and more chaotically, right? Even though we think like, it makes more sense, it's more orderly for me to follow this definite source of income down here rather than take a risk and go into this thing. But actually, if you follow a path that's against your soul's intention, you will manifest chaos because you're out of alignment. And when you follow the path of your soul's intention for your lifetime and you take risks and you go after your destiny, you will manifest alignment, which looks like things working out, things being easy, things showing up in your reality, opportunities, abundance, all this stuff coming to you to support you to do it. Because we are supported based on who we are, right? We're supported based on who we are. It's just like if you put a fish into like a dirt thing, like a rabbit's burrow, it's not going to flourish there. It's going to die. Same way as if you put a rabbit, take it from its safe little burrow underground and you put it in a fish pond, it's probably going to die, okay? I don't know why this message is going through so extremely, but there you go. We have our own nature. We are like a fish or a rabbit or whatever we are. And it's just like that. We have an environment that just works perfectly for us because it's just based on our true nature and it's just aligned. And when we follow that, that's what works for us and that's who we are, and therefore we're supported. And it's not anything any more complicated than that. It's actually very simple. It's like if you put a fish in a good environment pond, it's going to thrive. If you've put a fish in a rabbit's burrow, it's not going to thrive and it's going to die. Okay, and it's the same with humans. If you follow your destiny path, what you're here to experience in this life, and you really go after that, and you align to who you are and the truth of who you are, and you go after that, you will thrive. You will be challenged to your core, yes, but you will thrive. If you try to turn your back on that and you go down a conventional path that society is telling you to do or your family is trying to pressure you into doing, that is not an environment that is you are here to thrive in. It's just not. It's like you are becoming increasingly sensitive. So what might have worked for you in the past won't work for you anymore. And you have to acknowledge that. Avoid harsh relationships. Environments, situations, and chemicals. Also important because it is true that as we ascend, we do become more sensitive to, environmental pollutants and things like that. So we might have to change our diet, start eating more organic, start getting a water purifier. These things are really important too. But really what I'm getting is like, you have burnt your poor little self out, okay? You've burnt yourself out trying to follow this path that for whatever reason you were telling yourself was what you had to do. And spirits come here to be like, you know what? You don't have to do that. That's it. I know I'm going to trigger so many people with this message. Oh well. And you know why people get triggered is because they'll be like, but you haven't heard the reasons why I have to do this thing that I have to do. And it's like, I have compassion for that. I do. I'm just the messenger anyway. I don't know who you are, you know, but it's like, I can feel the resistance to the receiving of this message, and I get it. I do, because I know when I'm in a state where I don't feel like things are possible, I would freaking like yell at someone who tried to give me this message. I'd be like, I don't care. You don't understand. I'm going through something. But it's like, your spirit has guided you to this video today, to receive this message today, because you're ready to change and you're ready to answer a deeper calling that comes from your heart space, not from your head, right? Not from what's logical, but from what is true. From what is true. Okay, interesting. I accept all that I have created for myself, my past and my present. I am willing to allow my future to happen. And then it says, I forgive all past experiences. Yeah, so being in a place of acceptance for where you are, and for the reason that you created this, you know, maybe there's a beautiful lesson in this experience that you've created for yourself of veering off what it is that your heart is desiring. And you can use this contrast to be like, you know what, I never want to do that anymore. I want to stay in my fish pond because I'm a freaking fish and I like swimming in my fish pond, and I'm not going to go down and try to live in a rabbit's burrow anymore, because that didn't work out for me and I don't think it ever will. And that's another message Spirit's giving you, is that where you are right now, if you're in an environment that is not a match to who you are at soul level and is actually harming you by draining your energy or making you feel depressed or uneasy or anxious, that's never going to change, because that environment is simply not a match for who you are. And that's it. And it's as simple as that. And it's just the same as if you are a fish and you're trying to survive in a rabbit's burrow. You can't. It's not what Spirit designed for you, right? Spirit designed for you to have a certain environment that you will thrive in. It's like God's plan for your life, okay? In a way, it's true, because God's plan for your life is also what serves everyone else in the world the best. It's like what God's plan is, like aligning you with your desires in a way that serves everyone else at the same time. It's such a beautiful thing. It's so magical. And if you're like, I just know that I can really tough it out and I can make it in this rabbit's burrow, even though what you really want is your fish pond, it's like, the universe doesn't want you to struggle like that, like to go against your nature. It's like, yes, your destiny path will have a lot of challenges and obstacles that are here for you to learn and grow. And they can be however you choose to interpret them as being, right? But if you're really out of the environment that is right for you and you're not listening to your sensitivity, it's like, where do you think you're going to end up like that? And sometimes we have these false notions. And again, I'm getting this thing with like divine passion and be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? And it's like, is your heart's true desire to be uncomfortable in your environment? You know what I mean? It's just like, of course not. You're becoming increasingly sensitive, okay? So an environment that you used to be able to tough it out in, that's coming to an end for you. A situation or a relationship that you used to be able to just, I'm just gonna like toughen up. You know, if you have a really abusive, like narcissistic boss and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna toughen up and just gonna go to work every day. And maybe that worked for you for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. And maybe now it's come to an end. And this is the message from the universe saying, hey, you know what? You learnt your lesson. You showed us how tough you are. You're really tough and strong. Freaking good work, because most people wouldn't survive in that environment. And now please get yourself the heck out of there. Okay? That's the message coming through. It's so clear. And Spirit, come on. All right, let's do this. All right, Spirit, any more guidance for group 2? Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Yeah, okay, another message coming through about your sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. You are becoming increasingly empathic. You need to connect with nature. Again, yes, connect with nature. Also talking about connect with your true nature. If your true nature is that you're a beautiful fish that looks amazing when it's swimming through its pond in its perfect environment, right? That's changing people's lives. Other beings in that pond are like, wow, this fish is so magnificent and beautiful. I love to watch it swim by me. You know, that algae on the rock is thinking that. It's like, that's the environment for you that you most serve the world with. You most most sort of like the environment that cherishes you the most means that you can cherish everyone in the world the most. That's kind of how it works. So you are becoming more sensitive, and I do think that it's a message about a certain relationship. Like, I'm getting like, you know, maybe someone's a really difficult personality and you have toughed it out for ages, and the universe is kind of saying like, don't hurt yourself, basically. That's what I'm getting. Like, don't hurt yourself with this. You have to honor the cycles and rhythms of yourself and your own body. And maybe what you could do, and you could toughen out for a while there, is come to an end. And that's okay. And doesn't mean that you're not strong enough. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It's nothing to do with that. And we can interpret things however we want to, you know what I mean? But honestly, I think that there's going to be a lot of life force returning to you if you make a change, if you get out of a toxic environment or a toxic workplace and you really start to listen to what your soul is calling you to do and start to reform that relationship with your soul that's telling you like, hey, I'm desiring this. Because when we start listening to that, we can start to follow where that's going to lead us, and it's going to take us down different paths. And there's nothing wrong with your desire. Like, sometimes we're taught to like, restrict our desire. And that's just something I feel like you're really good at doing. And at times, I don't know if it's ever necessary to restrict our desire, actually. But I get the energy that you can have like a stoicism. You can have like, well, things are this way right now, and even though I desire them to be this way, I'm still going to put my head down and get the work done and keep going. And I think, yeah, that's a really positive trait to have, in a lot of ways. It's really positive. So it's not about disregarding all the positive things that you've learned, all the richness and juiciness of this lesson, but it's also about saying, hey, there comes a time where you need a more easeful environment, where you need a more positive situation to thrive within, you know? Because think about it, if you are a fish, like in a rabbit's burrow, and you're saying, oh my gosh, you know, there's just something wrong with me because I can't thrive here in this rabbit's burrow. And it's like, looking at it from creator's perspective, right? Creator is looking at you and is like, no, I created the perfect environment for you. Get your freaking self back into that pond, please, because I created this beautiful pond for you to thrive within. And you're trying to thrive in this rabbit's burrow and making it your fault that you can't. That's not how it works. Do you see? Okay. Let's pull one more card for you. Where am I going to pull it from, though? This one. Let's do like an outcome card for you with this shift, with this answering your soul's call, the outcome. Ooh, express yourself through creative activities. And this was what I was picking up, is that it does have an artistic energy to it. Like your art is trying to break through you and come out into the world somehow. Let's pull one more. Expect a miracle, group 2. This is exactly what I was trying to channel for you, is that when you start to follow your soul's desire, your heart's calling, you will experience miracles. You will. It's your destiny. You are always supported in what is based on your true nature, though. Right? And if you think about it, this fish that's tried to survive in this rabbit's burrow, if it was suddenly taken and put into a fish pond of its perfect, perfect temperature, perfect conditions in every way, oh my God, it would feel like a miracle, right? Be like, this feels great. Yes, right? And this is what's for you. This is what's coming for you. Okay. Much love, group 2. I send you off with so much love. I'll talk to you soon. Hi, group 3. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Yeah, so I feel like you're integrating right now from a huge energetic upgrade. I'm gonna pull some cards. I was just running around the house. Now I'm a bit out of breath. Ooh. Okay. So, yes, group 3, tuning in to group 3 spirit. Oof. We've got the 9 of Swords, so there's some anxiety. let's go deeper. We've got some anxiety, we got some stress, we got some pressure, we got some fear. Ooh, it's all the mental energy, the thoughts being like swords, right? You know what I'm saying? All right, so what else have we got? The 10 of Cups. Okay. I'm gonna pull one more, just so I know exactly where Spirit's getting at with this, because you're a bit more of a complex one, group 3. A bit more of a complex reading. I've got the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is like, I mean, look at this person. They've got 10 swords in their back. Okay? It's a lot. Okay. I'm going to keep going deeper. I know I haven't started channeling yet, but the Ace of Swords. We're just going to get a few more. Sorry, group 1. I mean 3. I know it's annoying when a reader's just like pulling all these cards and be like, but it's more helpful if I just get them all out so that I really know what Spirit's trying to say. The Fool. The Fool. Okay, so pretty much, let's go back. So you've been going through energetic upgrades, okay? You are actually operating from a new way of being right now, but that operating system is still integrating into your reality, and you may be finding that there are some bumps or hiccups as that integration period is moving forward. So what I'm getting is that you might be looking around your life right now and feeling quite fulfilled by your relationships, maybe your children, other positive things that you have going for you in your life. Like there's a sense of fulfillment emotionally or from spiritual fulfillment, okay? Maybe you've got a beautiful partner, you know, you got stuff that's good, that's good. However, the mental patterning in your brain, the neural pathways in your brain are still recreating an old version of yourself that is causing you a lot of stress and dilemma, because you're like, well, my external reality doesn't look that bad, but my internal experience is very, very, very not good, okay? So it might be that you are facing some stuff in your external reality with the 10 of Swords, like relationship issues with other people, because I'm seeing at least a lot of your relationships are really good, but maybe some other ones hard, like family or something. Maybe some betrayal, maybe some financial difficulties. But ultimately what this energy is showing you is that it's time to bring an end to the old way of thinking, the old ways of creating your reality that really aren't working for you anymore, because you have more life force available to you than you ever have before, okay? And when we raise our frequency, this is something that I find so hilarious, and I've had to go through a real harsh lesson of it recently in the past few months, is that when we raise our frequency, we manifest with greater velocity. We create our reality with more speed than we've ever felt comfortable with in the past. So when we go down negative thought patterns, we can manifest that into our reality really damn quick. But when we're at lower vibrations or lower consciousness levels, we actually have more of a buffer where, you know, things don't manifest immediately. And this is actually still true for people who are really highly conscious, like more like, you know, people who are nearing the stages of enlightenment, like monks and things like that. It can actually be a dangerous place to be, because if you go down a negative path and you're in a really high frequency, you're in a really high vibrational state, and all of a sudden you think something really bad, you can manifest that like immediately, right? You can manifest negative things even when you're at a high vibration. And this is important to know, okay? Because I didn't know that. And I didn't realize that when we raise our frequency and we raise our consciousness level, we raise our power. We have more power to create. We have more power to change things. But it doesn't always mean that we've cleared out all our subconscious programming, or we've cleared out all our mental programming that's taking us down negative pathways. So sometimes that will start manifesting in very extreme ways so that we have to witness it and view it so that we can let it go and be free from it, basically. So ultimately, this stuff is showing you like what needs to be cleared away. And sometimes that is the integration period. It's like you will have done a lot of work to release because you've received an upgrade, okay? And we can't receive an upgrade if there's no space. It's kind of like, you know, when you upgrade your computer, it's like, well, you need to be plugged into the, you know, what's it called, the charger to do it. Or you need to have enough space on your computer to do the upgrade. Is that true? I'm not sure if that's true. Actually, I'm changing this thought pattern. I am very good with technology, but I still don't know if that's true. So yes, awakening. So you have a lot of life force available to you and you've come through like positive things, but I'm seeing right now is that like this part of the integration, it might be like really intense because it's showing you all the stuff that has to change for this new way of being to fully anchor in and be your reality now. And you might be like, head in your hands, like, why does this feel so hard? Because say you've been really good with abundance for a while, but it's like you want to get to the next level, or you just naturally are getting to the next level of your vibration or your consciousness. Therefore, what's going to show up as you reach that new level? It's going to show up all the things that are not a vibrational match to that. And therefore, what are they coming up to do? They're coming up to be cleared so that you can let it go, so you can keep ascending on your journey. So you might be coming face to face with things that are not a vibrational match to the truth of who you are. But Spirit's saying, take a spiritual approach to your life right now. Even if you're feeling like, no, I have to think about this practical thing or this thing, I don't know. But whatever it is, your thoughts are creating anxiety for you. So there's a need to bring in the Ace of Swords, okay? This is like a new way of seeing things. And you literally got a new way of being. Therefore, you need to have a new way of doing as well. So the Ace of Swords is like an epiphany, or it's like a recognition of like, oh my gosh, I have this negative thought pattern that keeps manifesting things like me. And I just caught myself then. I had a negative thought pattern where I would keep saying, I'm not very good with technology. And you know what that would manifest as? Manifest as like really unnecessary challenges in my experience of using technology that didn't need to be there. But it was my belief had to be affirmed in my reality. If I had a belief, which I did, which I'm changing now, yes, that I'm not good with technology, then if that's held deeply enough and you know, it's become a belief, which is, you know, that's deep enough, it's like a belief as a thought we keep on thinking or keep on affirming about ourselves, well then everything in reality is going to shift to match that belief. So even though, and this was how I realized it, is that I would have these like problems come up on the computer and I would literally pass the computer to my partner. I'd be like, hey, can you help fix this for me? And as soon as his hands would touch it and not mine, the thing would stop. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like there's something else. There's something like mystical happening here. This is not just like, and then he's like, well, yeah, you always say that you're terrible with technology and you don't know how to do technology. And he's like, it's not even true. And I was like, oh my God, of course. So then we can catch it. And we can start to observe how that starts to manifest, and we can start to work with it to shift that belief and take it backwards and be like, you know what, I am good with technology. I don't need to manifest this hardship for myself anymore. This is, you know, unnecessary. But yes, as we ascend, we will be shown the things that are not in vibrational alignment with the truth of your soul. And that will become more and more clear to you the more and more you ascend. The more and more it has to be cleared out. And we have to take greater responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. And it's just like if you're in a really high state of like meditation, really high frequency, and all of a sudden your thoughts start going negative, that can manifest instantly. And we are gifted with the blessing of not having instant manifestation right now. Because I don't think that we're at a consciousness right now as a collective that we're ready for that. Because can you even imagine the chaos that would happen if that was happening? I mean, we've all gone down negative thought spirals, or, thought things that we didn't agree with later, or wanted something to happen that we don't want to later, So there is like less and less of that buffer zone, the higher consciousness that you become, or the higher frequency, because frequency just means you have an expanded viewpoint of things. And that's what I mean by consciousness, is that you're able to look and see so much more of what's really going on around us. So Spirit's advising you to take a spiritual approach with these things. Don't try to change the outside, change the inside. And ultimately, I feel like really with the Fool is that really going against what might seem logical, but what's calling you to do. What are you feeling called to do? How do you feel called to integrate this new energetic upgrade that you had? Because the old ways of doing and being won't serve you anymore. So there's a real need to change. There is a real need to change. With the Fool as well, I do feel that there is the need, especially with all these swords cards coming up. It's like your old way of thinking is manifesting unhappiness for you, okay? So there's a real need to change your thoughts and change your neural pathways in your brain. And the way that we do this ultimately is that we change our core beliefs, because our core beliefs were created by thoughts that we kept thinking, okay? And what I'm getting is that the real need to focus on your subconscious mind and changing your subconscious mind, which in a way, this is like what I'm so passionate about right now. And by the way, I'm working on this in source codes right now if you wanted to check it out. 1st of June, the next billing cycle will resume, so you can come join our community. It's going really well. But yeah, so I've been talking a lot about reprogramming the subconscious mind on there, and I've got some resources that I've created to do that, such as subliminal sleep tapes that you can listen to as you go to sleep, but there are other things as well. But ultimately, we have to change the subconscious, because the subconscious is like 95% of our mind, which is really ruling a lot. Like, it holds our deep beliefs about ourselves. It holds our core beliefs. It holds our self-image of who we are. And if we want to change that, which you already have been, because you're awakening to a new way of being, and you're having energetic upgrades and you're integrating that, you need to change your self-image to go along with that. You need to really change the deep, deep core stuff. And light language does that as well. That's why I'm so in love with light language. Like, listen to light language and you will make a lot of progress, or channel it yourself if you do. But we still kind of have to work with these things like in the moment, like I did just then when I was like, oh, I'm not very good with technology. Wait a minute, I am good with technology. Technology is easy for me to use. I freaking have an online business. Like, technology works for me. I love technology. And you see how we shift that around. But yeah, the subconscious mind is really calling for you to work with, because we can't go about fixing the outside, because that's what I was getting from you. It's like, even if the outside in your world is reflecting to you something that you thought would make you super happy, what I'm getting is that you still have this mental stuff that causes you unhappiness. And that's the thing, it's an inside job. We can't change the external reality if we haven't changed how we feel about ourselves or what our self-image is. It's kind of like you could manifest the perfect partner that you love, and that's perfect for you in every way, and you thought that having that partner in your life would change, your abandonment issues or something. It would change your fear of like, oh my God, I'm going to be left. No, it won't. You have to change that, right? And external evidence is never enough to change our internal self-core image of who we are. We have to change that to someone who is not abandoned, someone who is always cared for, someone who is always supported, someone who is always, loved and will always be okay. And when we change that core image about ourselves, well then, yes, we can receive the beautiful blessing that is in front of us, which is this beautiful partner. But it doesn't work the other way around. We can't be like, oh, well, I'll stop feeling X, Y, and Z about myself if I had my partner right now in my reality. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that because you won't be able to receive it. This is what I've learned, and this is what I'm really interested in right now. It's like, either our subconscious beliefs will support our life and make things really easy for us. Like, it'll make manifesting money easy, because our subconscious mind, for example, and this is what I love this, our subconscious mind rules like our heartbeat, our circulation, right? And other things. But for example, you don't think every day like, I've got to beat my heart today, I better beat my heart today, my heart's not beating, better get it going. you don't think about it, right? You don't worry about it. You don't even really acknowledge it. It's just something that happens and you know what's going to happen. That is the power of our subconscious mind. Now imagine how limitless you are when you put into your subconscious mind programs such as I have abundance without even trying. I always feel safe and supported in my relationships. I always feel healthy and full of life force energy. I know that I am, the most beautiful version of myself. And on and on and on. And imagine that that is working for you as effortlessly as your beating heart. Because that is what the subconscious mind is. It's a tool. It's something we can program. And ultimately, it's a gift that works for us. But most of us, the majority of us, experience our subconscious mind as something that works against us. Because that's what it's been programmed to do. So fair enough. But we get a great deal of payoff for a small amount of work. Whether it's listening to light language, listening to affirmations as you fall asleep, which is the tapes that I've created on source codes, working with changing and interrupting limiting beliefs like I had just then about I'm not good with technology, all of these things make a difference. They really change you. And it does take some effort, okay, as you're reprogramming it, but the payoff that you get is like so worth it. If you think about, you get the payoff of something effortlessly manifesting for you as easy as your beating heart. Like, hello, that's like everything. Ultimately as well, if we don't do the work to change our subconscious mind, we can have something manifest, but it won't feel like what we thought it would feel like because our self-image hasn't changed. And that's really what we ultimately wanted to change, right? And this is something that I actually find fascinating because we can think that, okay, the thing that I need to change that would make me feel different is, having that partner in my life that I love, who loves me, or it's, losing weight and having the ideal body of that I want. But I can tell you that if you haven't changed your self-image about yourself, your core beliefs about your life and who you are and how things happen for you, that it doesn't matter what shows up in your reality. You can force reality to bend to your will. You can force yourself to lose weight or to gain muscle or to have whatever, to gain weight, to have the ideal body that you want. And if your self-image is still of someone who is too skinny or too fat or whatever it is, that hasn't changed, then you can be looking at yourself and other people will look at you and be like, hey, you really don't need to lose any more weight, or you really have enough muscle, you're huge, and you can be like, no, I can't see it. I need more. I need to do more because you haven't felt different. The feeling hasn't shifted. It's not about the reality changing, right? And you can have the most patient, adoring, loving partner of your dreams, but if you have some self-image of someone who's always abandoned or whatever else can come up in relationship fears, and that hasn't changed, then you will project that onto your partner, and no matter how they show up for you, you will be like, you're abandoning me, right? So instead of wasting our energy on the external, we bring our focus back internally and we start to work with this. Because honestly, this is the biggest thing. I wish that this was laid out as clearly as I have it in my mind for myself right now, way long ago, ages ago. But whatever, it's a journey, we're meant to go through stuff. But it's it all makes sense now. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the missing key. This is it. If we don't change our subconscious mind, it doesn't matter what else changes. That is the only thing that will make us feel good. We can have $1 million, but if you still feel like you're poor and in scarcity and it's not enough and I'm not going to have enough and you have a fear of it running out, then that's how you're still going to feel if you have $1 million in the bank or if you have $0 in the bank. It doesn't matter. So for you, the work feels more to do with the mind and really working to change your brain and your neural pathways. And let me tell you now, not everyone will do this. Not everyone has the tenacity, the audacity. Not everyone has the will, the inspiration, the passion, the devotion to self and to spirit to do this work. But it is the most vital work that you'll ever find. That is what I've come to. I really do. I really believe that, because it's like, if you haven't got your 95% of your mind on board with the 5% of your mind, or if you haven't got unification of mind, which is, your mind working for your soul, for your spirit, for your true intention, for your truth, for your heart, then what have you got? You've got disjointed realities where there's this thing over here that is good, but it doesn't feel good because there's this thought over here that doesn't feel good, and blah, blah, blah. All disjointed all over the place. When you have the unification, it's like, oh, here it is. My heart's beating today. Didn't even notice. All right, let's pull you an animal card. An animal spirit messenger for you. Spider spirit, it's my spirit animal. Make your dreams real. Make your dreams real. I'm gonna pull another one. Freedom is yours. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that Spirit is telling you, like, you're already free. You already have this available to you because you're in the conscious awareness of it, right? So this is the answer. This is the integration that you've been asking for, so that things don't feel so intense, this mind energy, right? Where things don't feel like, so that you're not suffering so much, basically. Because I know, and I've been there, where you can have so many things going on in your reality that you're like, hey, this 10 of cups, you're like, hey, I know that this is good. I know I've got really good shit going on. But if you don't feel it, if it doesn't translate into the core belief, your core self-image, then what is it? You know what I mean? We haven't received it then. We haven't received our own creation, our own beauty, our own abundance, our own love. So what I feel is like, make your dreams real. Is Spirit saying you are the powerful creator. You can create this. You can create this perfect sacred geometric web where everything aligns, where your thoughts are over here, but they're aligning to your core belief, and they're aligning to how things are manifesting for you. And that's aligning to how you're of service in the world. And that's aligning with you having great abundance, or manifesting the great partner, or feeling really good in your body, or whatever else you're trying to experience, right? And Spirit's kind of saying, like, you have the power, go for it. It's kind of like this image I'm getting is like, it's like someone has like a horse. This is the image I'm getting. I'm trying to explain it as best I can, but oh my God, it sounds hilarious. It's like if you had a horse that's been like tied up to something and it just wants to roam free, and then you just like let it off and it just starts going and it builds so much momentum. Like, that's the amount of power that you have. And I think it's sort of, for you, it's about like understanding this concept so that you can really align with it and let it like flow for you, so that you're like unstoppable, like this horse just like cantering off into the sunset of what it's desiring. Like, that's you. It's your energy is what I'm getting. And Spirit's kind of wanting to remind you of like the powerful creator that you are, and also remind you that a spiritual approach rarely seems logical, but it is truly magical. So it might seem like illogical or irrational that, you know, you focus on shifting your thoughts, or you focus on listening to heaps of light language right now, or something like that. But it's like, people might think that you're the fool, right? That's what the fool is. It's like, you might feel like you're the fool, but actually you're in touch with such a deep wisdom, you know? Oh, I love it. Yeah, I just see this amazing journey coming for you. And it's like, once you get rid of this stuff, like once you unify that mind, heart, soul, body, like with all of it, with the true image of who you are, which is how Creator sees you. You know, Creator doesn't see you as not enough, not good enough, not smart enough, not thin enough, not muscly enough, not this enough. No. That's not what Creator sees, you know what I mean? So I feel like there's this need to take a leap of faith and put your heart's true desire into action. Yes, and keep your focused intention. I was like, wait a minute, Spirit, but what about this part? And then Spirit's like, yeah, here it is. Focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. Exactly. So Spirit's saying, look, it just takes a little bit of focus. It just takes a little bit of, bringing your attention back to the truth, such as when I started going off into I'm not good with technology, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not even true. That's just some erroneous belief that I decided about myself, probably based on my childhood conditioning. It's not even true. That's not true. And it certainly doesn't serve me. I spend a lot of time with technology. It definitely has not served me to have a belief that it doesn't work out for me that well, or it's hard for me, right? What? So take a leap of faith. What do you truly wish to believe about yourself? What do you truly wish to believe about the world? Because it's funny how much our beliefs truly manifest for us. And it's like, I think I was going into this in group 1, where I think it was group 1. It was like, if you have a belief that things have to be really hard for you to be able to manifest it, guess what? It's going to be really hard. But that's not what the universe thinks. The universe isn't like, hey, look, you can have this thing, but I gotta see you work really hard. You gotta suffer for ages before you get this thing. It's like, that's not how the universal laws work. But yes, it's often how we experience it, but we can also check in as to why that is. What is my programming that's telling me that things have to be really hard for me to be worthy of receiving it, right? And oftentimes these things, like, we just prove ourselves right because that's the belief that we have about it. So it's like, oh, if you think things have to be really hard for you to be able to receive, enough money, then it's sort of like we have the power immediately in a moment of desiring something to allow it to come to us. And ultimately that's the work, right? It's like, how do we remove resistance to instantly receiving like that desire that we have, or very quickly receiving the desire that we have? But most of the time we place all these conditions on that desire, like, okay, I'll be allowed to receive it if, I look like this, or like I can, like I guys, I know this so well, and ultimately it doesn't always work out. Like, sometimes things are just going to come into your reality, they're just going to like flip you off the head. Like, I had this belief that I wouldn't meet like the person in my dreams unless like my body looked a certain way, and I was super critical of my body, and I couldn't receive it in its beauty like before I couldn't receive it completely in its beauty for what it is. And then it's like, I met this person in my dreams, and I was like, okay, so that belief didn't really turn out to be true at all. Hey, like, I didn't have to do anything to become more worthy of receiving the love that is destined for me to receive. And it's the same thing with anything that you are desiring. You don't have to be more of this or less of this, or more of this or less of this. It's like, you just have to release the resistance to receiving it. That's it. Okay. I'm going to pull you one more card. Ooh, share your voice. Come out of the cave, persecution and expression. What I'm getting from this is like, in a way, your thoughts have been persecuting you, and it's really easy to have a lot of negative thoughts about ourselves, right? But I feel like what the share your voice thing is, like, use your voice for the power of creation that it holds. Like, use your voice to powerfully create the experience that you're desiring to have. And to, like I said, to speak about yourself in a way that you actually want to receive it. Like, when I am creating my own reality, when I keep saying, I'm not very good with technology, then in a way I'm persecuting myself, right? I'm being like, hey, you're not good with technology. And therefore that's what I'm creating, and that's what I'm experiencing. But Spirit's kind of reminding you of like the power of what we speak about ourselves, or how we're narrating the story of our life, or how we're thinking about situations, or how we're interpreting events, or how we're interpreting other people saying things, like so much stuff in this card. And Spirit's kind of, the main message of share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution and expression, is to start expressing yourself in a way that is not persecuting you, but is actually like helping you, that is creating your dreams, that is saying, hey, I am abundant right now, I'm beautiful right now, I'm this right now, I'm this right now, I'm this right now, and bringing it into the now. Okay, that's the other vital important aspect of it. Gia på tog ma tak choi so ma tai but hold up but I can tell my chat tell him toy ma. Alright, let's pull one more. These readings have been longer than usual, but I haven't even noticed. Okay, so let's pull a Moonology card for you. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. Yeah, and this is the image I'm getting of like that horse being let off its rope and just running and just like going for it. And this is what I feel for you is like you're going to develop so much momentum so quickly because you're already at that vibrational place where you can make a lot of difference. And you have so much more power available to you than you ever previously did. So use it wisely, okay? Don't go affirming that you're terrible with technology because that's going to start manifesting in bigger and bigger ways like it did for me until I finally recognized that belief and was like, oh, well, I've been creating this whole time. All right, group 3, I send you off with so much love and I wish you all the best and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.